when you're ready, I'm gonna start.
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome everybody. We got a great guest on today's show today, Jason from Pinball Party. How are you, Jason?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm feeling awesome, man. Jason, this is the first time we actually talk to each other. I have listened to some of your shows, and I must say, the last show you made, that was episode something, but it was called Can I Be Honest episode you made on your podcast.
Yeah.
That really made me want to reach out to you and have a talk to you. It was really honest from the heart talk. So I just reached out and I said, yo, RETROCENGO here. I don't know if you know my channel. I made pinball video. You do? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I have listened to some of your shows, but this last one, it was amazing. And I wanted to recommend this channel, Jason's Pinball Party podcast. Go in and listen. This last episode, it was so good. So,
can I say before you keep going, thank you very much for the kind words. I really appreciate it.
You are talking about, at the beginning of that show, anger, jealousy. You mentioned that, but you're also as I understand, you're a really honest guy. You're a genuine guy, but you're talking about you have done all of this pinball media stuff, and Stern has invited people over, but you didn't get the invitation.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
Well, I guess if you want a long answer, yeah, go listen to that last episode called Can I Be Honest? Yeah, I don't number the episodes, so forgive me. How did it make me feel? I mean, man, I'm of two minds. One, like, no one owes me anything, so the fact that Stern didn't invite me, it hurt. If I'm honest with myself and not doing any defense or pretense or trying to like defend my feelings, yeah, it sucked and it was really kind of just deflating. But it was also like, well, I mean, it's not like, yeah, again, no one owes me anything. It's not like if you do this, then that happens. It's when you do it for so long, like a podcast, and you get to know a lot of people in the industry, and I've done it for a while and made a lot of connections, and there's all this basically talk that happens, but then people don't follow through, and that's the part of me that like I try to do what I say I'm going to do and vice versa. And yeah, anyway, so long story short, it was kind of deflating.
Do you have any idea why they didn't include you? Because you're pretty known in the pinball world, as I understand.
Yeah.
You are a part of the Zach's, what's it called?
I used to be on the Pinball Network. Yeah.
Pinball Network, yes.
Yeah.
You're not anymore?
No, I left for my own reasons. Zach and I are close friends, and we became close, I guess I should say. I started doing this podcast a couple years ago when I was recording an album for the music group is called Neon Dale, but it's really just me making songs. And I was recording this album, and in the middle of it, there was a lull for I had a couple weeks break for some reason. I can't remember what it was, but I made a couple jingles for the Triple Drain podcast, which is a fantastic pinball podcast. Joel and Travis and Tom. Yeah. And then there was like a lull in podcasts for a while, and I was just like, I know audio pretty well. I am somewhat of a showmanship from playing shows. I'm a front man and sing and do all that stuff. And I just hit record one day and just started recording. And I was like, well, I don't know how to do a podcast by just saying stuff. So I started making sound effects and putting music in and doing all this stuff. And then got the attention of the Pinball Network. They asked me to come on after like 4 episodes. And then, I did the Pinball Network thing for a long time, which is fantastic.
You got an invitation there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And that's honestly like the opposite feeling. When that happened, it was great. It felt, like it would for anyone, an accomplishment.
That's how I found about your pinball show. So it's really nice. But okay, so when did you exit that? So you started your own now for how long?
Probably. Actually, I know it's a little less than a year because we basically made an agreement when I signed on to the Pinball Network that any podcast I do, they get rights to it for a year, and then after that year, they come back to me. So just the other day, I was like, "Hey, Zach, can I take all those episodes back?" And it's almost been a year, but I really left for everyone on that team is incredible. Everyone. And
great shows.
Yeah, they're
great shows.
Fantastic shows. And really, the only reason
there.
and the only reason I left was honestly down to like kind of scheduling stuff. I like to sometimes, and for anyone that listens to my show, I guess I'm not always the most consistent because I'm so busy in life, and sometimes I don't want to do a podcast. So I just wanted to be in control of my scheduling, and I wanted to not harm their brand if I was to go off and say a bunch of terrible words or whatever. The way I do it, whatever. Some people judge this, but so I left, and they were heartbroken. Hey guys, I was heartbroken, but yeah, we still stay in touch.
Okay, so you're good with Zach still.
Oh yeah.
He's a great guy. Nothing there.
Yeah.
All right. So on this show, you're new. I'm not gonna ask who's your daddy, what does he do? Nothing like that. We're just gonna jump into it. And if people are interested, they need to check out your channel, because on your channel, I listened to one of the shows where you had a guy over. You were talking about a pretty new game from Stern called Jaws. Mm-hmm. And that guy on your show, he was like, Jason, Jaws is awesome. And you were like on the fence, but he was talking so positive about Jaws. Yeah. And on that show, while you were doing the show, you were writing to Zach and you were about to buy a Jaws.
I did buy one.
Yeah, you did buy one.
Yeah.
So you bought one, and then you made a show where you said, now I'm listening to these shows when I'm driving, and it just jumps to the next show. So this show came up, your show came up next, and you were like, I just got this game, and it's for sale same day. And I was like, Jason, what's going on? I mean, it's rated pretty high. Which version did you get? Was it a Pro?
Premium.
A Premium. All right, nice. And you put it up for sale same day. How many games did you play?
It was up for sale within like 2 hours. I probably played, I'd say 4 to 5 games max. Yeah, 5
games, and you were like, what was it? Was it a shot, or what was it after 5 games? I mean, it's a lot of money. How much do they cost in the US today? 10,000 or what?
Base 9,500 to 10,000, depending on who you're friends with. Yeah.
All right. So why did it come up for sale? I really want to know.
Yeah, and maybe when you asked the question earlier, and I guess I maybe didn't necessarily answer it, why I don't think Stern asked me to come on. Can you swear on the show, or should I keep it clean? What do I?
It's okay. I know how your shows are. It's okay.
I'm not going to go up, but I basically shit all over the game when I got it, because there is some flaws with the physics. Flaws may not be the right word, but it's very common for people that want to just Google Jaws pinball airballs. That'll get you what I'm talking about. The whole kind of right side of the real shot area is a lot of problems, I'll say, where you try to hit the ball in a place because you're aiming in pinball, and you'll hit these things and it sends the ball all over the place. Like you basically can't make a shot. And there's also another spot right before that shot that also sends the ball up in the air. So basically there's 3 or 4 areas in this one spot that would just send the ball everywhere. And I just couldn't hit that shot. So I was like, okay, that sucks. I've done this a long time and I know how to fix things, but like you said, $9,500, you get a game home and it like doesn't work right. So I email Stern's customer support, and they're notoriously bad. It's not. I
actually wanted to ask you, did you talk to Stern about this?
Yeah,
you emailed them. Okay, let me hear. What did they say?
You
got a new playfield, Jason.
Hey, welcome to Stern. You got this brand new game. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't really work, and they're like, and when I have these support tickets with Stern, I try to say in the first email, like, I know what I'm talking about. Please, let's go over that. Please don't, I know what I'm doing. Just, hey, these are the problems. Can you help?
Yeah.
And the answer was basically like, that's kind of expected. It'll slow down over time. And I'm like, let me get this straight. $10,000 and it's expected to not fully work correctly, and that's your answer? And they're like, yeah, it'll settle down. And I was just angry and said, can you please send this to Gomez and Keith Elwin and just say, like, this is unacceptable, and like close the ticket. Thanks for not helping. So the game just, it wasn't, it was very frustrating. So I listed it for sale.
So you put it out for sale. Is it sold?
It's sold.
After how many games?
I mean, after I took some time to fix some of the air balls that you shouldn't have to do.
Exactly.
And a lot of them came back. I probably played 50 to 60 games on it.
Did you get all your money back? It's a brand new game?
Yeah, no, I didn't. The market is just going
500 off or
1,000.
1,000 for 50 games?
Yeah, not cool. So
how does that make you feel, my friend?
Yeah, right. That's the.
Oh my God! And that's a Keith Elwin brand new game, man.
I know.
The market. I mean, as bad as it's in the US, it's same here in Europe. It just
is it.
Yeah, my brother, he sells all the companies, and it tanked. Everything's just stopped. Yesterday there was a guy over. He tried Elton John. And we have the premium there, and we have the CE on the way. And my brother was like, we have this one if you're a fan of Elton John, and we're getting the CE, blah, blah, blah. And he was so interested. And then he said, how much does this one cost? How much does the CE cost? And my brother, he's told the prices, but the prices, you say 15,000 in US, but we add $1,000 for shipping. And on top of that, here in Europe, we put on 25% VAT on top of everything. Yeah.
Wow.
It's so cheap it's so cheap over there.
Yeah.
So cheap. When this guy got the final price, he was like, are you kidding me? For this toy, for this game? I thought it cost like a PlayStation 5. I was like, no.
Nah.
So, yeah, I mean, games are cool. We are getting some cool new games. But my 2024 thing is maximum 10,000. I mean, no game should cost more than 10,000. I don't know how you feel, but for me, maximum 10K, man. I mean, you losing 1,000.
It's not sustainable.
Was it hard to sell? Did you sell your draws?
Yeah, that was the thing and you said it right. It's the most popular game right now by the most popular designer.
Yeah.
And it's so brand new. And it's been one of the hardest games to sell. And I guess anyone who's thinking not selling these to make money, you're basically trying to just mitigate the cost of owning and enjoying the hobby. So the last podcast I made that was can I be honest, was like a combination of the market is so bad that it's barely affordable to do the hobby, and then to do the media on top of it and not get any recognition, I guess is the right word, but I don't really mean that in the way that like I need it. It's just the combo of that was like, I'm just going to hit record and just see what happens. But yeah, I don't have any games right now because it
was a great show. Look at what it resulted in. It was so honest. You can just hear it. I was driving. I was like, let me check the volume up. This is some honest, real talk, man. And I felt bad about all of it. And I'm like, and you were also mentioning Canada on that show. On this channel, we have had Canada from Canada's Pinball Podcast. We have Dawn from Dawn's Pinball Podcast. We have got Joel from Pinball Network. Now we have got Jason from Pinball Party. So welcome to the high table, Jason.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
So you say you empathize with Canada's anger video on that last Saturday show where he was like, F off, Stern, F off, F off, F off. I want to hear your frustration. When you say you understand his anger, you empathize with his anger, is it because of Jaws or is there more to it?
No, Jaws was... I've been kind of vacillating lately while you see the market go down and you see somewhat in the pinball media what's rewarded, I'll say, and not rewarded necessarily by the manufacturers, but rewarded with... It's kind of nebulous to say, but to answer the Canada thing specifically, him and I have a little bit of a history, and I don't think he'd mind me sharing. He's been on my show as well in the past on the Pinball Party. And the first episode I did, maybe it was the second, the first person ever to reach out to me was Kaneda. And it was a welcome to the hobby. Don't swear so much. And I was like, cool, man. I get it. Like he goes for the number of listens and he wants to really maximize. And that kind of made me like, I'm going to double down. And it looks like there's my niche. I'll just swear all the time. And not like I'm trying to forcefully swear. That's just how I talk. So I had him on the show one time and we were doing like a game on the show of like every time we would curse, we were donating money to, I forget what it was. And at the end, we didn't have a lot. So then I just put a bunch of F-bombs at the end, like 30 in a row. And that's been fun. And honestly, that guy, you know, rightfully so, and he'll admit it, he gets a lot of grief in the hobby from, you know, personal relationships he's had or things he's done or whatever. And he'll fully admit it. And, you know, there's plenty of people on the Pinball Network that are against him. And there's a lot of drama like there is anywhere else. I've seen him on your show, by the way. I thought they were great shows. But off the record and off the air, him and I have great communication. You know, we kind of encourage each other and, you know, give each other kind words when we need it and help each other out and talk about stuff. So it's that anger that, you know, he shared about prices and everything. So for him to say to me in the very beginning, don't swear, yada, yada, for him to suddenly just start saying the F-bomb over and over. And I was like, there we go. There's the real guy. And I get it. Like he's doing a show. Family friendly is not the right word, but you know, I get it. He doesn't want to swear a lot, where I just do because whatever. And his anger was real. And it was, it's like from the gun stuff on John Wick to the prices to the Stern marketing. And for, I mean, to Kaneda's defense, a marketing guy, seeing what Stern is doing marketing wise, it's frustrating because it's all really a love for this hobby. And when you see these things from the outside of like, just don't do this stuff, it's tanking some of the enjoyment of the hobby. And I thought it was a great show. Like, I mean, listen to Pinball Party, sure, but go check out one of Kaneda's recent Saturday Spectacular, as he calls them, and it's reflective of people I know.
All right. So let's talk about the newest game. So you said this gun thing on John Wick. What's your opinion? It doesn't have a gun on the artwork. Does it anger you?
No, I could care less.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that people. I don't care.
Yeah. That's how, I mean, it's just ridiculous. We don't want to talk about it. It is what it is, man. Let's leave that.
Sure.
Next thing we're going to talk about is Funhouse. So they just released this remake.
Yeah.
Is it something for you? Did you order it?
No, and no. I did play Funhouse when I was a teenager. The time when I was playing like, you know, Addams Family, Twilight Zone, Tales of the Arabian Nights, all that. I remember there was a Funhouse, and Rudy was kind of like a creep, you know, the little doll head. Like, all right, that's fine. And I played it maybe in my life 5 times, and I didn't need to play it anymore. So seeing those kind of remakes doesn't do much for me. How about you?
Well, I have 2 fun houses, and one of them is just like brand new. So yeah, I'm not sure, but maybe I don't know. I want to ask you, with all these remakes where they remake Belly Williams games from CTC and now Pedretti, I want to hear your top 3 wishes for Belly Williams remakes.
Belly Williams. Okay. So sometimes, well, it's pretty easy for me. Addams Family, Twilight Zone. Yeah. And well, they remade the ones I wanted to. It would have been Attack from Mars and Medieval Madness. Yeah. But the one that I would like to be remade, which is not a Bally Williams and it's a trash game to most people, is Waterworld.
Oh, from Gottlieb. Yeah. From Gottlieb, right? Yeah.
That's the game that got me into learning how it was pinball. Because, you know, you just lack of resources and where they are in my town. And it was at a bowling alley and it was Waterworld. So that was the game that we learned how to replay and get good at. Yeah.
Do you live close to pinball locations? Are you close to a location where you just can go out and play John Wick?
No, the closest I can go to play new stuff is probably an hour and a half.
Oh, so you need to buy these games to make all the shows.
Yes,
to stay excited. And sell them and lose $1,000 every time.
It's a great time. Right.
That's not cool, man. So talking about remakes, I have heard on your show you really want a Lord of the Rings. So I just want to ask you, I made a video with my Tales from the Crypt where I put in a pin sound card and I had some music. Did you watch that? The video? No, you didn't watch it. Okay, because few days after I made that video, you said on your show you want to buy a Lord of the Rings and you want to put in a pin sound and put in your music better music. And I think maybe it was from there, but oh man, I fully understand why. But not only Lord of the Rings, they are talking about remaking more games. I want to ask you, Stern remakes, top 3. What do you wish for?
Ooh, it's funny that the top 3 remakes are, aside from Lord of the Rings, the 2 that I actually would like remade. I'm pretty certain they are. Okay. Tron and Metallica.
Yeah, the rumors are saying, which one do you think will come up first, Tron or Metallica?
Metallica. Very confidently.
I think Tron. Let's see.
Really? Maybe you know things that I don't know, but I'll just say Metallica is likely.
I mean, last I heard, they were transferring DMD stuff to the LCD generation for Tron. That's the last thing I heard.
Yeah, I
hope Metallica gets Spike 3. Come on, with proper sounds and speakers. Metallica, you're a sound guy. It just needs better sound system than
my God, does it?
Yeah. I mean,
I'll say on the Metallica thing, I have friends that work at some of these places, so I don't want to say, but the Metallica one is just, it's very much likely.
Yeah, but they say, the rumors, again, this is just rumors, that the shots and layout, the whole playfield should be the same.
I hope so.
But do you really hope so, or do you want something more? I want something more, man. Yeah. I've played that game for so many years.
I didn't, because when I had the game at my house to play it, the market was going down and I had to sell it before I lost too much money. So again, the same reason for me to play a game, I just don't want to lose a ton of money. I liked the game a lot. I get that it was repetitive, but as someone, I mean, I really like Metallica. The main reasons for getting rid of it, aside from the money, was the audio wasn't even stereo. So like,
there we go.
I mean, I'm in like a recording studio. Like this is what I do. So like, I can't be hearing mono Metallica. Get out of here.
Get out of here. What's going on? Man, last thing I want to talk to you about is they just came out with John Wick. And I know they invited these new guys for the release video. Yeah, not people like you or me.
Sure.
And now they're making this media thing we started this video with. And Canada, he calls it apology tour or something. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So earlier today, actually, I got a link to a podcaster. I have never listened to his show. His show is called Poor Man's Pinball Podcast.
Oh boy.
Yeah, okay. You have listened to it. So I listened to that show for a couple of hours ago. I don't know the guy. He must. I'm sure he's a good guy. But he says that he's huge in the industry. He's the second or third biggest pinball media guy, and he has done this and that and this and that for 20 minutes. He talks about all of these things, and he didn't get the invite, and he was just pissed off. Really? Do you know this Poor Man's Pinball Podcast?
No, not personally. No, I know of the show. I've heard it a couple times, but
okay. So you're a bit sad about it, but you're not angry like that guy. He was really F Stern all the way for 17 minutes or something. Oh,
I would say I'm healthily angry, and I'm not angry anymore. Full disclosure, I should say this. I guess I didn't mention it. Stern did reach out to me. They emailed me after the podcast, and they kind of apologized in a way, which I didn't need the apology or like the pity party, but it was nice. More than anything, honestly, it was enough to basically, they said, "Oh yeah, hey, I've listened to every show. I love it." And like that means enough to me. I don't need the invite. If I get that, like some of the very blunt honesty doesn't always work with their marketing. And of course, they're a business, they need to make money. I don't blame them for that. But it felt good for them to reach out, and we have communication now, which is nice. So the anger that I heard on Poor Man's Pinball Podcast, probably there was a little bit of that inside. I'm not gonna, whatever he did was his choice, and it's entertaining to say the least. I would just ask, because he did reference that I made a podcast venting the frustration. I wanted him, and he kind of was rubbing me a little bit, like kind of giving me shit. I wanted him to go harder on me. Like if you're gonna like really make fun of me, like come on, roast me, man. That would have been funny. Like he kind of almost did, but I think he could have gone harder. So there's a challenge. Poor Man's, if you're listening or watching, like if you want to roast me, like you got to go 10 out of 10. Like I can take it. I think it's pretty funny. But
go
yeah,
full Jason.
Please go nuts. Like tear me apart. I like that stuff. But yeah.
I think it was really cool Stern reached out to you. I'm happy to hear that. So are you going to visit Stern and play their games now? Or what did you say? Did you just say it's okay, but I'm okay?
Yeah, they didn't, retroactively send an invite. They really just said, we're a big fan of the show.
Okay.
In so many words. I don't want, it was a good personal email. I will say, if I can, Stern is great, and there's a lot of people there I know, and it's wonderful, but it's Jersey Jack has been like the opposite with myself and the Pinball Party, as in maybe not the opposite. They've been so generous and so forthcoming, and so I'm looking at a Hobbit playfield right next to me that I got because of So Jersey Jack has been wonderful, and it's not to pit the two against each other, but that was another, where you have this idea of like, I know how a manufacturer can be, and Spooky, to be honest, they've also been wonderful. And again, I don't deserve, or they don't owe me anything, but just like working with them on the side and talking with them and having them on the podcast, it's just a different experience.
I mean, you're mentioning Jersey Jack. We have been selling Jersey Jack games for years here in Denmark, and I'm telling you, when we sell a game, if there's the slightest trouble with it, we just contact Jersey, and they just, no problem. Here's brand new parts. Here we go. It's so super service, man. I really love doing business with them. And so I guess you talked with Ken Cromwell, such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy.
Often.
And we just started cooperation with Spooky. And I hope in a couple of weeks we will get some Spooky games here. The reason I have unboxed a lot of games, I don't know if you have watched some of them. The reason we haven't unboxed Spooky games, I'm not sure I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. When we order games to Europe, they need to be something called CE approved to come into Europe with voltage, with, don't go into flames, and all those improvements, they take some time, cost a lot of money. So they just got approved. So their games are great now. So now they're welcome to come into Europe. So soon I will be unbox them and check out their quality. I will check out their quality personally before we will sell the games. Have you owned some of their games? Do you know about Spooky quality?
I've owned Total Nuclear Annihilation twice, and personally at home, it's been fantastic quality. I love the game. And Scott Denisi has been on the show as well. We've reviewed TNA and talked about a lot of that. We did a music collaboration as well. But go support Scott Denisi and what he does. He's not part of Spooky anymore, but just a shout out to him. Yeah. But Spooky on location. So we do have a location locally. It's just not a lot of games, to answer your question earlier. They have a Spooky, and it's always busted. Kale and Rachel at the Electric Bat Arcade, who have Spookies, are just, and they'll say it, it's not, Spooky is a hardworking company that has awesome licenses that try really hard, and they're great guys. And all that being said, some of the quality on location doesn't always hold up to something like a Stern. So it can be not great. Yeah.
Which titles do they? Which games do they have? The old ones or newer ones?
Yeah. No, I've heard Scooby Doo has been pretty great. Looney Tunes and Texas Chainsaw, from what I've heard, but also some manufacturers. I don't want to. Spooky is great. you know, they're great for the community. They're trying hard. They're doing wonderful things, but they're learning as they go. So from my experience with them and people I know in media, Spooky learns and listens. So they are improving even while things don't always hold up on location. So nothing but great things.
They are so active in the community. I love those guys. They're just on there. You can speak with them. It's so good. So I'm really happy to have them on our team here also, man. It's so great. Jason, this has been a great show doing with you, my friend. Thank you for accepting this. I said I would only take 20 minutes of your time. I'm so sorry. We are a bit over.
I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, of course, man. And if you have, a great friendship with Canada, maybe we can do you, me, and him.
Let's do it.
I don't know how much talk time we could have, but let's include him and make it on another show, man.
Yeah,
Why not? Why not? Yeah. Everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Go in and subscribe to Pinball Party. Great guy, as you can see and hear, and great show. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, just check out the Pinball Party podcast. We do more of the audio than the video. Yes, we have a YouTube video, but I rarely do video just because of what I do. So it's been an honor. Thank you for having me on here, and I appreciate the invite.
Of course, buddy. Of course.